here for folks like us. Wrong city, wrong people.
Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Aesop Grim here, and this is the continuation of my playthrough here with TBC Anniversary Edition. And we are on the mage today, as you can see. I just completed the assassin messenger quest. Had to look around for him for a while. But I'm on my mage because I really desperately need to get her leveled up on, not necessarily her level so much, although that's going to be part of it, but her enchanting skill. So, my main Trump mugshot, my hunter, has really jumped ahead, and the tool that I use to kind of measure that for my own self is an add-on that gives me a gear score. Now, I don't play retail, so I understand that gear score is really frowned upon, especially in Classic, because of how it's used to decide who gets to go to raid and who doesn't when it comes to retail. But let's see, we want to go this way. But for me, I just use it for self-reference. So I entered Outland with a 563 gear score. Let's back off a little bit. And I am now pushing 1,000. I'm at, I think, 944, something to that effect. So my damage is a lot better. And I've also recently hit level 62, which means that I got steady shot. So I'm beginning to dabble with learning how that works, really. I mean, I know it's easy. I've got macros set up and stuff like that already. But just, I had to shuffle a bunch of keys around, so now I'm having to relearn muscle memory. Oh man, this guy's jacking me up. I don't know if we can... We should be able to take him. He's level 28. So anyway, it's just, I'm in a learning phase there. I went ahead and replaced my pet. I just really liked that other Quillfang more than the one that I spent forever and a day grinding up from level 10. That's kind of a travesty, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. So Trump is doing pretty good. He is getting badly outpaced by one of the tanks that he tends to run with, and whose raid group I'm actually assigned to. But that guy screams, man. That guy really, he goes turbo. And I like to take my time, so I'm not expecting to keep up with him anyway. And I really need this, I need this mage to improve. Oh, I made the same damn mistake. Sorry, guys. Let's reset this again. I really need her to get to 300 of 300 on enchanting, so that she can disenchant mats that Trump sends her and put that on the AH and make money to fund my characters. Here we go. Let's see if this works. Level 28 with a pretty substantial hit pool. Oh, he's immune to that also. Okay. That makes sense. There's been a lot of stuff that's been a lot easier on my druid than it has been on my mage, I tell you what. My mage has felt really powerful at times, but right now she feels pretty doggone weak. And, my druid leveled much, much faster. It feels like. There was a quest here where I had to go into a harpy cave. I couldn't even do it, man. I had to bring my druid out and clear that cave so that she could, do the quest. Problem. Doggone it. Ah, you son of a bee. You know what? I can put this up. I guess that's the whole thing with mage. You gotta know your tricks. And I'm a noob. See, that was a pretty good answer. I'm glad I thought about that, because that was kind of the key. Alright, 1 of 10. I feel like we're going to have to take him down. Might be able to get it. That feels pretty close. Out of range. There goes the messenger again. Alright, 2 of 10. There's no cooldown on that, it just costs me mana. Oh man, but he evaporates it pretty fast also. Oh, really? Die, scumbag. Alright. Get wrecked. Zoom in some. Nothing here. Oh, he resisted that? Does take a chunk of mana. Boy. Well, who you guys got for tomorrow's game? I'm recording this as of Saturday, so you're not going to see it till Monday, so it actually happened yesterday for you. But I think I'm going to pick Seattle. I might not watch the game. I'm just not nearly as interested in football as I used to be. I used to live, eat, and breathe football, guys. Man, I crunched the stats. I knew all the players. I was just really well informed. It was fun for me. One of those people that looked at all the analysis and had a pretty good grasp on most of the teams and the players. And, but the NFL's kind of lost me over the years. For one thing, the game has changed a little bit. And I don't have a fix action for that either. The game has changed because players are so big and fast these days that we have to put rules in place that really limit the defense and protect quarterbacks a lot. And they're needed, you know, but back during a day when players were not as finely tuned as they are now, can't do that while stunned. I gotta go. That fight didn't turn out well for me. He's gonna kill me. I guess I could have blurred forward, blinked. Ah, boy. This mage, man. She's really in a vulnerable position right now for whatever reason. I mean, things are like this with most characters. You get into these lull points where everything is tough. Oh, yeah, Scald is what was used. I wonder if I could switch her to a safe. What level is she? She's 29. Train your class spells. Okay, we'll do that. That might be part of what the problem is, actually. So, we could Hearth. Thunder Bluff. Yeah. That would work. As a mage, I probably don't want to have my Hearthstone set to Thunder Bluff, as I can just portal back. But whatever. So anyway, the other reason that the NFL has kind of lost my interest. So I told you about the game has changed, and in my opinion, for the worse. Well, I didn't really finish up on that, but back in the 80s, I feel like the 80s were the golden era for football. Now, I am not so old that I have real clear-cut memories of 80s football. That was actually the era right before me. That would be boomer football. I'm Gen X. So for me, the 90s is where I started to really know and understand the game. Or was capable of it, you know, of learning. And I did do a lot of learning during that time. Prior to that, I was like in middle school and obviously elementary school and stuff like that. And I do have memories of watching football at 3 years old with my dad. So that would be all the way back in the 70s. But those are just that that memory is of him teaching me what a tackle was. So it's not like I wasn't learning. But I'm just telling you that, like, the 90s is really where I could say that I began to understand the game more. Before that, it was just something I watched. There was lots of stuff I didn't know about. So anyway, point being, I think we're down below. Okay. Point being that I have some memories of 80s football. And I think that was the golden era. You know, you got Ronnie Lott, Steve Atwater, Joe Montana. Who else was out there? Danny White. And players were smaller. So you could really light people up and not have fear of like killing them, you know, or causing so many concussions that the person goes crazy later in their life. Now, maybe some of that wasn't true, but we didn't know about it.
Hello.
I just know that it wasn't, so I don't know. I'm trying to be accurate at the same time, and I don't think I have enough knowledge to be 100% accurate in what I'm saying. But the overall concept I'm trying to get across is that it was not as dangerous of a game, and therefore it was a different game. Defenses could really hit and didn't have the limitations that they have on them now. Offenses were, in my opinion, more intelligently designed around scheme, where it was more of a chess match, whereas current day offenses are based more around athleticism, which I think is a dumbing down of the game. I don't really have a solution on this because you go with what works, right? But I don't think the game feels as high level as it used to. I think that's how I'm going to say it, because these players still have to know a boatload of information, man. You can't be stupid and play football. Well, you got to be what they call football smart. It is a type of intelligence. Not everybody's got it. All right, we're going to go, what here? Arcane Intellect. Let me focus on this for a minute. Conjure Mana Agate. What in the hell is that? Conjures a Mana Agate that can be used to instantly restore 390 to 410 mana. Okay. So it's like a soul stone. I want to put that over here. What else do we have? Mana Shield number 2. Yeah, this is, I needed to train. It's pretty much what it was. I was underpowered. Scorch rank 2. Fire Blast Scorch. Is that instant? No, 1.5 seconds. Okay, that's over here. Where are you? Here you are. Blizzard rank 2. Nova Blizzard. Okay. That's going to be Donde está? Here you are. Okay, and that's everything, right? Yes, it is. But the other part is the politics of it all. Man, I can't stand it. I think it's really super disingenuous.
I'm listening.
These corporations are out there telling us that they're trying to invest in the community for social justice, right? This is one of the biggest grifts of our era, is the whole social justice thing. What a bunch of bullshit. It's absolutely being run by communists. Not as a means to attain social justice, mind you, but as a means of flipping the culture and overthrowing a sovereign nation in order to change it. It's called a color revolution. So those are hidden agendas, right? That never turns out in your benefit. I like to use, there's a trick I use in order to try and wrap my head around things that are sometimes larger than life, like really, really big issues that you can sort of, it's hard to get your head around it all. And the technique I use is I feel like if I've got hold, I don't know if I'm going to word this the right way, but maybe you can follow along. If you've got a hold of something that's actually like a truth in the world, it'll be true kind of like regardless of the era. It'll like a universal truth is what I'm talking about. A principle. And more applicably, I don't know if that's a word or not, but more related to what the way that I use it is that it will, what did I need to do? Create wool bandages. It will be true. This is the way I phrase it. It'll be true in both the micro and the macro. And what I mean about that is that the same things, the same kinds of things that fist fights start over are also what start wars. It's grievances. It's I'm jealous of what you got and I want it. You know, those kinds of concepts are at play. So we're going to go to the Spirit Rise. Yeah, I'm facing the right way. Okay. Well, so how many of you can remember whenever you first started dating and probably through some hard lessons learned, found out that not everybody who makes you feel great or knows how to say I love you in all the ways that you want to hear, or understands the art of seduction and can make you feel really sensational about yourself and really close to them and all of those kinds of things, right? But then you find out that they've been cheating around on you for a while and everybody else knows it. They got like 3 or 4 other partners and you're just sort of the butt of every joke, right? I'm trying to just think of the worst possible concepts here, the scenarios, but many of you have these kinds of experiences where you learned that just because somebody says the right things doesn't mean that they're a saint and that they actually mean what they're talking about. And a lot of times...
I've been expecting you.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to do this. A lot of times they're just good at lying. That's what they are. They are liars. All right, fly to Camp Tarajo. So what you find out then is that whenever people tell you one thing, but their real goal is something hidden, the phrase that we tend to use is hidden agenda, or sometimes you hear ulterior motives. These are never, ever, 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 ever in your best interest. You're the patsy. You're the mark. You're the one getting hustled. They are taking from you to feed themselves in some way, shape, or form. And if you think a corporation has your best interest in mind, brother or sister, God bless your soul. You got a hard life in front of you with a lot of hard lessons to learn. And so I don't think that what the NFL is doing is genuine. And I find that fact alone to make them nefarious. So I might not even watch this game. I'm definitely not watching that halftime show. I'm going to watch the Turning Point USA show whether I watch the game or not. Man, I had a quest I could turn in there. Why didn't it tell me to go do that? Steel Snap. I'm going to have to go back and turn that in. Maybe I need to put this back on speed run. I don't want to do dungeons. Enter the cave. What is that about? I don't know. I'm trying to get my quest log cleaned up here. Windrider, so we got to go back to TB to turn that one quest in. 1,000 needles. Alright, we'll find out. That might be one of the test your strength kind of things. But that said, I might watch the game. And here's the reason. This is rare too, because lately, I mean, it's been years now. I've watched less and less football every single year. I am now at the point that for the first time in my life, there are times that I don't even watch my own team play. Every single year, I just have a little bit less interest. But this game features two teams that are run in ways that I like and appreciate. Whether it's scheme or it's how the organization works, or maybe all of the above. And so it could be that I watch this game. It's very, very unusual for me to be interested in a game that doesn't have my team in it. But these were some of the best playoffs I've seen in a long time. Gotta give credit where credit's due. You know, I may not like the NFL, but those were some entertaining playoffs. So maybe I will watch the game. It's like a coin flip. It'll depend on how I feel at the moment. Definitely not watching the halftime show. But I'm not really the type to watch a halftime show too much anyway. I haven't liked the NFL halftime shows for forever and a day. I can't remember the last time I saw a halftime show that I actually liked. Maybe it might have been Michael Jackson. I remember the Black Eyed Peas out there doing something. They sounded terrible because they're... something happened. I think Madonna was talking about this one time. Singers don't know how to perform live anymore. Well, I don't know if that's true now. It was true there for a while. Because you have people like Taylor Swift and stuff. I don't know if she performs. Actually, I don't know. You know, I don't know how much of this is lip syncing. I don't know. It's hard to say. But I know that Madonna used to do like the real thing. Had a long career doing that. I'm not the biggest fan of Madonna, but she was old school in that regard. And that is just not really the case anymore. Frostmaw. I think I'm supposed to accept this. I'm going to leave it alone for now because it doesn't explicitly tell me to accept it. And I believe it'll tell me to come back here and grab it if it wants me to. So anyway, yeah, she was all off-key and stuff. The Fugees. Fugees? No, that was a different group. Black Eyed Peas. The show that had J-Lo and Shakira in it. And I kind of like Shakira. Not the biggest fan of J-Lo, but not a hater either. Just kind of neutral. Like, I don't care. Right? But man, that show was practically a strip club show. It just kind of felt like two older women trying to prove desperately to the world, look, I'm still sexy. Well, okay. You know, did you really need to do that on a show that's got a bunch of kids watching it? I don't know if that was the right choice there, sweetheart. Can't you get your validation someplace more appropriate? The Janet Jackson wardrobe slip up with, I think it was Justin Timberlake, that was just kind of like, it's not that I was so turned off, but well, I don't think you should be doing stuff that involves like overly sexualized or certainly not nudity stuff whenever you've got a broad audience, like families are watching this, you got kids and stuff. I don't agree with that. I think that's selfish and irresponsible and, you know, just points out some bad characteristics about you. But that aside, it's that it's all contrived and fake. And I tell you what, we're in something like this is talked about at the scholar level. We are in something called the age of authenticity. Gen Z kind of signifies it. The whole be true to yourself thing. It doesn't have, not everything involved with it is good, but the concept is there to push back against presuppositions and established norms and have the guts and courage to know who you really are inside. Like, you got to find that out first. So you hear a lot of things like look inside yourself and find out who you are. These things really, whenever you start getting into the nitty-gritty of it and you put it on trial, so to speak, with actual philosophers, they could tear that apart in seconds. It's bad philosophy. You're not going to be able to find out for yourself. I can't remember how it goes. I heard this argument. It ends up being ridiculous. But nevertheless, this sentiment is there with Gen Z, and it's there heavy about be authentic, be genuine. One of the things that I think is bad that's aligned with it is the whole transgender thing. And we have more and more evidence coming out that whole thing is like malignantly evil and false for the vast majority of people. And these kids are getting older, and it's called detransitioning. Well, they were never transitioned in the first place. They just made a mistake, you know, because they were sold a bill of goods that is not true for the vast majority of people, and they were sold that bill of goods so that other people could make money off of them. It's disgusting. And that's coming full circle now. It is. So, but that's one of the things that's tied to this notion. So I'm trying to give you examples so that you can kind of wrap your head around what is the age of authenticity. And man, it is a fierce feeling about it. Where are we gonna go? Okay, 356 yards that way. Let's take the elevator down. So the parallel that I want to give is that when I was a kid, I entered my freshman year of high school. Look at how beautifully this synced up. High school being formative years, right? My freshman year in high school is when Nirvana releases their first hit, Smells Like Teen Spirit. And the Seattle grunge scene blooms into being. And in just about 1 year's time, maybe it was 2, I can't really remember, it wiped out the 80s hair bands completely eradicated them. Made them yesterday's news. And I remember that the entire idea motivating all of this was to be genuine, not be fake. And there was a strong anti-corporate counterculture element involved in it. But here's the thing, is that even though you really embraced that ethos yourself as a teen, and you wanted to wear flannel, right, and thermal and stuff like that. See, before that, nobody wanted to wear flannel. Flannel was associated with country bumpkin, racist, three-tooth hillbilly country people that didn't know anything. But those guys up in Seattle, it's cold up there, and a lot of them are drug addicts and poor, and they wore what they could. So you got the torn jeans, and shopping at thrift stores got real popular, which is actually kind of bad because you're a lot of kids, not me, but a lot of kids were well off, and they're getting clothes at a place that is really supposed to be there for poor people. Right? So nobody did that maliciously, but that was a trend, to go shop at thrift stores and find old, outdated stuff and not care. Just be unique, right? So that was really what surrounded the entire, not just grunge, but the alternative rock thing. And it wasn't very long before corporate America got involved in that. So now, when you want to get your thermal shirt, you're not finding a $10 shirt somewhere with a hole in it already. You're going to the mall, walking into JCPenney's or Sears and paying $40 in the 90s for a thermal shirt because you want to be unique. You see how, like, that's just a complete contradiction? But that's how it was. So what I'm indicating here, what I'm trying to paint the picture on, is that it doesn't matter if Gen Z walks the walk. They have an ethos they believe in about authenticity. And they believe in it rabidly. And so I don't think something like what the NFL is doing is going to be able to carry the day going forward. Whoever they're listening to, if this is a marketing department thing, they are failing. This whole idea about the modern audience, we need to market for the modern audience. You don't think people are going to figure out that you're just manipulating them to sell more tickets? It's just, I don't think it's going to go real well. So, we'll see what happens. But I'm not watching the halftime show, and I don't support the NFL's globalization agenda and who they have tied themselves to. We gotta go this way. I think that's the losing side. And that it's not pro-humanity. I don't care if you give it nice, pretty words like social justice, or if you dress it up in language like, hey, we're fighting against racism. The hell you are. Bunch of fakes. We're pro-gay. No, you're not. You're not. It's all rhetoric and messaging, and you're pulling people into that because people get excited about you supporting their cause whenever they're trying to flip a culture, right? And they see themselves involved in a fight also. Oh, I guess we got to go to the Rogue Feather Den. Let's see, haven't I already done that? Let's get over there and find out what it wants me to do. But once they find out that you don't care and that you turn your back on them as soon as it's expedient or it's not popular anymore, they get really, really pissed. It's just they got to learn that lesson the hard way, right? It's just like that example I brought up about high school. Some people, they got to learn the same lesson in different ways throughout their life before they start putting it all together and understanding like, oh, this is an entire like concept that can be applied to multiple different instances. It's like they only learn the specific initially and they don't really know how to grasp the overall concept and see how that can apply in multiple ways, so they get burned again in a different way. That's just life. You know, they're not stupid for it. You might call them foolish or naive, but most people are foolish and naive at certain points in their life. Alright. I'm pretty sure I've done this Harpy Cave, guys. But it looks like today's episode is about me getting my quest log going correctly again. I have to do this on my druid also. But I'm prioritizing my mage because I really want the disenchanting. I don't know. You know what? Maybe I need to, if anybody has listened to this episode to this point, and you don't have a shotgun opinion, like you've actually got real world experience, you've tried them both, etc., can you tell me whether it's better to be leveled up in enchanting and selling that on the AH, like the disenchanted mats that my Outlands hunter can be sending back? Or is it better to gather herbs and sell those? I feel like enchanting is more passive, which gives me more opportunity to focus on my main. I suppose I could ask this in my guild also. Anyway, I'm throwing it out there. Community knowledge and all that. I'm gonna mute mic and get a drink. I woke up with the sniffles today, so if my voice sounds funny, then that's why. Probably go with that. Okay. Silenced. Yeah, this was why it was such a problem. I had to go get my druid because of this. Now I'm hoping that once I enter this den, it will notice I've done this quest already. Push me forward. But we'll have to see. Okay, travel toward High Perch. I have done that also, so I'm going to go ahead and click that. And we'll click this. What do I need to do next? What quest, guys? Come on. I'm going to skip this one. It's too hard for me. Okay, we're back to the Incendia Agave. Hopefully that goes a little bit better than last time, because these guys were tearing me up. If it doesn't, I'm going to have to switch over to the safe guide. Survival guide, I think is what it's called. So I think I am picking Seattle to win this game, but man, it's gonna be pretty close. I think New England, tactically speaking, seems to do better, but it's not by a lot. I'm just kind of wondering if I shouldn't trust them a little bit more in a game that I'm expecting to be really close. Also, a big part of Seattle's offense is predicated and set up by their run game. And New England is one of the best in the NFL, maybe the best, I'm not sure, at stopping the run. So you have a strength on strength. And on top of that, Seattle is a little bit hurt with their backup running back being out. So that's significant, and an offense that really rotates their backs with that 1-2 punch. When you're up against a defense like New England, that's really good against the run. So I'm kind of sitting here giving reasons why New England could win this game. But overall, I like Seattle's offense more. It just kind of, I don't know how much missing, I don't remember his name, guys, like Charbonnet or something. I don't know how if Seattle can run their offense the way that they normally do, I like them more. Because both teams have really, really good defense. And I kind of trust Seattle's offense more. Oh man, I should have stuck with the Scorch. God, these efforts are so hard for me at this point in time, man. Yeah, so I see Seattle's offense as being more balanced. But I'm speaking a little bit from a point of ignorance here. I just don't watch football like I used to, and I've seen very little of New England. But what I have seen gave me the impression that they don't strike me as being really very good on offense. It's like they kind of find a way to win. They do enough. Whereas Seattle, I see them dominate sometimes. I see them just pound you into the ground. And oh boy, I just don't know. The whole year has been like these playoffs were some of the most competitive playoffs we've seen in the NFL for a while. So it's really, this is kind of a coin flip. The more I talk about this, the more I think I might actually watch this game, or at least part of it. That's just real unusual for me. My interest really has dropped off a lot when it comes to football. And now that's kind of becoming true of both college and the NFL. I was always more of an NFL guy first, but the NFL is the one that started doing all this politics stuff, so then I started kind of gravitating more towards college. But now college is paying players some, like, that's a professional sport now. So kind of what made it distinct is no longer there. Come on. Wrong one. There we go. I don't think I can kill him. I don't know why not. I killed the other one. Try throwing a mana shield up, maybe. I don't know. They seem to be one-shotting that pretty good. Mana shield held up better. Okay. That worked out. But this is about as close as it gets, man. It could go either way. Between my mage and these, what do you call these guys? Scalding elementals. Maybe I could put on fire shield. Come on, man. Stunned. Boy, it's barely doing any damage. It's really eating my mana up. Stunned again? Yeah. These are close fights. Oh, shoot, man. Kidding me? How am I going to get out of this pickle? Run! Yeah, so the Super Bowl seems like a coin flip. I don't know who's gonna win that. And you never know how a game will go, too. It could always turn into a blowout either direction. Sometimes games are closer than what the scoreboard shows, and sometimes they're not as close as the scoreboard shows. Alright, let's do this, Brutus. Man, it seemed like it didn't take anything off of them. Okay, can I find anything down here? Darn it. $82 damage, 41 damage. Okay, so it doesn't do very much damage. It's quick though. Fireball is a lot more damage. Okay. These guys are everywhere, man. Let's try throwing regular fireballs again. Ah, crap. Got it. Ah, shite, man. The repop, dude. Get that warlock so I can get this planta right here. Okay, I'm at 4 of 10. This is a grind. Let's go around to the other side, see if we can find something over there. Looks like my best bet is to kind of pick off from the periphery rather than get down in the water and duke it out with... Gosh, can you imagine if I drew 2 of them? I hope I can get this plant before somebody comes and sneaks it out from underneath me. Pretty darn close to that dude. Oh shoot. Ooh. Got it. Well, we're halfway there. I suppose this is the point that I would go back to the other side. Let's just try and take this dude down. Oh no, that's bad. I honestly am not really sure why quests like this get put into this guide. This is not good XP per hour. Although, as I say that, I already kind of I talked earlier about how this was infinitely easier on my druid. Oh, that's the wrong one. I'm getting plenty of bubbling water and stuff. Gonna be better. 835. Oh, it's the same. Okay. Nothing, huh? No plant respawns. Ah, that's my nightmare right there. Oh, great. Can I blink out of a stun? Yes, apparently I can. Wow. Wow. For my mage, this is a garbage quest. Well, for me as a player with my mage, I'm sure there are people out there that would just obliterate this quest because they're good. And they know how to play mage. This guy's up again. What level are you? It's your same class. I would like to see how you do it. You are level 28. Okay, you're gonna arcane blast him. He's taken hardly any... Well, he's starting to take some damage now. Okay, maybe I can try that. Arcane Explosion T. Jump down here and see if there's a ant. Not. Let's go to the other side so I'm not competing with Johnsonville here. So Arcane Explosion is instant. I wonder if he's spec'd into it. Improved arcane missiles, focus, subtlety, concentration. I don't know if there is an improved version of it. Oh, I have a talent point to spend. Increase the duration of your chill effects by 2 seconds and reduces the target speed by an additional 7%. Oh, now it's up to 10% in seconds. Okay. I've never played Mage past level 23. So this is at level 29. This is... Oh wait, I'm level 30. I dinged. That's why I had a talent point. Amplify Magic, Arcane Explosion, Conjure Water, Fire Blast, Fire Ward, Fireball, Ice Armor, Ice Block. Oh, Ice Block. And Thunder Bluff. Or... what did that say? Oh, for teleport. Okay. No plants. Boo. Boo. That's the same place I was at. Can't be. Oh, that's right. I was gonna try, I got stunned. Because perhaps they are resistant to fire damage. They are scalding, right? I kind of assume that because they're water elementals, they would be weak to it, but maybe not. Drink another. We can probably also throw up dampen magic. Yeah. That actually worked really well. Alright, well, that's what happens whenever you sit back and watch another person play mage. It's probably a lot better than you. You learn some shiznit. So if that worked, maybe I should lead off with arcane missiles. This guy's looking for plants too, I'm sure. Oh, fishing. All right. Try it. Die, scum. Die, rebel scum. I've got a bad feeling about this. I've been watching a lot of Clone Wars stuff lately. Six of 10. Which the rebellion doesn't exist yet, but still Star Wars related. Boy, they really messed up Star Wars, didn't they? Man, you have talented artists out there who can write, who can put together stunning visuals and sets, but whose broken worldview causes them to put together stories that the vast majority of people, not only do they not relate to it, they find it abhorrent. I'm feeling a lot better using the arcane. We can, yeah, there's one right there. Maybe we can take this guy out. Man, that is working so much better. I am so glad that I was able to watch what that dude was doing. Oh no! Okay. Got lucky. Back off. Can I eat here? Perhaps? Yes. Well, this was a crucial episode for me. I learned how to do some shiznit with my mage that was readily available, but just not within the box of thinking that I was in. I'm Frost. I wasn't, you know, and I've done fire and stuff. Hardly any arcane at all. Oh, we're gonna have to take that dude down also. There we go. Okay. So this dude right here, let's try... I gotta remember the hotkey. Here we go. Let's try leading off with fire. 2 fires. Oh, stunned. And that is, you know, I mean, we're low health and all, but that's starting to feel like easy money, right? "60% of the time it works all the time." Eight of 10, right? Yep. Only need 2 more. And I don't see anything on the ground there. Oh, no, that was almost a disaster, man. I do see something over by her. Shoot. Okay, well, really, I'm not going to be able to get there without killing this guy, so we need to go fast. Fast, fast, fast. Had to be decisive there. Number 1. Number 2. Right. 9 of 10. Right there. Is there a repop over on this? Oh my goodness! Run! Ah, shoot, man. You scared me. That kind of works on it. Where the F are all these people coming from? Screw you people. You. Bob respawns. Keeping me from discovering whether or not my last plant's over here. How dare you? Drink up. Come on, come on, come on. Go, 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 go. Good enough. One, two. How far you gonna come? That damn war dragon, whatever you call it, wind fargan serpent. Jeez Louise. Oh, you effers. I knew it. I knew it, I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. The wind serpent's gonna F me, man. I lived. I lived. I want this plant. Give me the douchebags. Look at how far he pats. What a... Say something really mean there. 10 of 10. We're done. Finally. Hearth to Thunder Bluff. No, I don't think I will. Am I gonna do that? Yeah, I don't have anything to turn in here. Okay, fine. I will do that. Yeah, my old friend. Cloud Serpent. Haha, take that, Cloud Serpent. Except Frostmaw. Okay, so see, it did work out that way. I need to accept this from my druid for disenchanting purposes. Do I have greens in here that I can disenchant? Yes. But not the skill, huh? Requires level 31. I do have the skill, I don't have the level. 37, 33, 32, 31, okay. Fine!
Farewell.
Bunch of cloth in there. I need to figure out what to do with that. Because I can make my own greens. Kind of need to remember that. Wait a minute. You know what? Let's see here. Options. Let's see, add-ons. Tip Tac. Options. Where was it? Count. Oh, here, anchor. Bring that over here. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Talk to Magatha. Trump is finally getting really close to getting his elite mount. It's gonna cost me just about everything I got, but I'll be able to do it.
Be careful what you say.
All right. Main class spells. I guess it's down below, huh? I'm watching trade chat here. There's drama. And I'm participating a little bit. Alright, let's find out what... Let's get some new stuff here, new spells. Alright, well, we got a few things here. Amplify Magic Rank 2. Which one is that? That's this one right here. I almost never use it. Amplifies magic used against the targeted party member. Oh, that's why. Because I'm soloing right now. Okay, rank 2 is up there. Arcane Explosion. That's gonna be kind of a big deal, I think. That's what I was just using. Here you are, rank 3. So we're going from 60 to 66 to 97 to 105. Yeah, that's a jump. Onshore water. Oh, that's good. Rank 4. Fire blast, rank 4. It's gonna be here. Fire blast, rank 4. There we go. Okay, fire ward, rank 2. At 2 here. Fireball, rank 6. Ice armor, rank 1. Increases armor by 290 and frost resistance by 6. If an enemy strikes the caster, they may have their movement slowed by 40% and the time between their attacks increased by 25% for 8 seconds. Only one type of armor spell can be active on the mage at any one time. Okay, so ice armor now takes the place of my frost armor. 200, 40%, 25%. Yeah, it is better. Ice block, new spell. Where am I gonna put you? First of all, what are you? You become, well, I know what you are, but I need to read it. You become encased in a block of ice, right? Protecting you from all physical attacks and spells for 10 seconds. Okay. But during that time you cannot attack, move, or cast spells. Also causes hypothermia, preventing you from recasting ice block for 30 seconds. So this is really only useful in a group scenario, because otherwise the mob will just stay there and beat me up. But I will put it on shift button 4 and move counter spell to shift button 5. Because I'm trying to keep all of my frost and fire spells over here, and I've got arcane right here. Okay, and that was it. People were whispering me. They got pissed. They got pissed at what I said. It's a bunch of liberals. Knuckleheads. They project so hard, man, and then they all think they're big brain galaxy brains, right? That they got it all figured out and that they think for themselves. They don't. There is not anything on this planet that I know of, outside of maybe some small cults, that are more of a hive mind than the liberal movement. And that's regardless of what country you go to, it seems. At least when it comes to Western civilization.
Victory for Sylvanas.
So it's really rich watching them be like, hey man, why don't you guys just break out of the cult and think for yourselves? Mofo, you don't ever question anything on your side. My side questions Trump on all kinds of stuff. Oh man, it's funny. It is funny. It really is. I think it's hilarious. I get a kick out of it. It's just, you know, on one hand, I guess it's kind of like really sad to see people this indoctrinated, because you know that they're cattle being led into the slaughterhouse, right? But man, when you got a military background, you get used to watching things that are horrible unfold before you all the time, and that's how we develop gallows humor. It's like, man, you did that to yourself. You did that to yourself.
What will you require? Dark Lady watch
Well,
over you.
No, actually that's not right. It was done to them. but they fell for it. Speak with Tabitha. Okay.
Beware the living.
Do I have wool on me? No, I might have to actually buy wool. Do I have any in the bank? I've got 7. Let me go get some of that. I'm level 30. Can, disenchant this. No? Requires level 31. Okay, fine. Put that in there also. Oh, I have to go to the bank. Alright. There we go.
I've been expecting you.
Grab that, store this. Alright, the other stuff I should be able to disenchant though. It's just one thing. Yeah. Fine. Whatever I can out of this. I don't think I'll be able to learn silk. Or heavy wool bandage actually is what it would be. But we'll go check. I didn't get a skill point for that. That sucks. 115. Alright, let's go find out. That's going to be on Spirit Rights also, I think. This one guy said in trade chat, let's go back to politics. I was starting to finally understand. He's of course being sarcastic. It's pretty good. Oh man, I tell you what, my days of trying to persuade people are long behind me, and it's not just for how long I've been around. It's not just an age or experience thing. It might not be an age or experience thing at all, where I've like figured out it doesn't work or anything. Well, I think some of it probably is, because people really do they believe what they want to believe. And I'm not immune to that, right? If you're going to be intellectually honest, you got to recognize that you're just as prone to that as everybody else. I would say what gives me an advantage is the fact that I know that I'm prone to that, and so I can maybe keep an eye out. Versus somebody who's not even aware of that and would kick against the bricks if you suggested it to them, right? But mostly it's because of the era that we're in. I think that we're just kind of getting down to where the issues are extremely polarized and they're down to their fundamental essences, the basics. So it's really getting to be black and white, a whole lot less shades of gray. And so people have their staked out positions, you know. Let's see here. Train silk band. Okay, we can Get rid of that. Accept Compendium of the Fallen. Doggone it. We gotta go back. Sorry. Alright, I'll stop playing in trade chat, guys. let's just move on with the game. It's very tempting sometimes. Compendium of the Fallen, it must be down below. No, I guess not. Where's this guy at? I'm not in the right section at all. This is funny, guys. This person, they're probably Canadian. Let me scroll up and make sure I read this right, because it is funny. I took 5 steps into a capital city and Americans are already arguing about politics. Yeah, it do be like that sometimes. Oh, this right here. This must be who I'm looking for. Yep.
The winds guide you.
That's just, it's funny. That was good. That was really good. Oh man. We all laugh at each other. You know, like, well, your nation has to kind of be known well enough to be laughed at. Sometimes you're just under the radar. You know, like, what do I know about Paraguay? Did I even say that right? Paraguay? Yeah, I don't know anything. But I know things about England, and I can laugh at them. I know things about France and Germany. I know things about Japan, and I can say, hey, well done. You know, stuff like that. And we're out of TB, so, oh, there goes trade chat. Yep, it's gone. Boy, to me, this is all part of the entertainment, though. World of Warcraft, man. World of Warcraft and trade chat and Baron's chat. It's all part of it. People are constantly dogging it and making fun of it, and I understand why. But for me, that's part of the entertainment, man. This stuff is hilarious. Just watching people open up their brains about some of the wildest views and takes on things. and then seeing the culture war happening like we were on a forum or so. It's just this era, man. This era is wild. I'm about it too. Alright, what are we gonna do here? Turn in Betrayal from Within. Done. Next. It's over here. My XP per hour is just abysmal. But I think this character is set up to start bursting forward again. Okay. Turn in Awatanka. Sweet. I can disenchant this. Oh, that didn't really improve me at all, so I guess I need to be enchanting my gear to gain points. Yeah, because I can go up to 160. Can do that right now. That gets me to 91. Okay, and it wants me to go to Dustwallow Marsh, which I don't think I have the flight path for yet on this character. Free Wind, Ratchet, Crossroads, yeah, it should be around here, so.
Watch over you.
Gotta hoof it. Well, we'll head out that way. Get there, get the flight path, and then I think I'll call it an episode. We're at 2 hours. We're pretty close to it. Yeah. Just follow the compass, alright. I was about to say, am I going the right way? And then I remembered I have a compass, so yes I am. You know what? I need to make water. New water. Just to start getting that going so that I make more than 2 at a time. Okay. Put that on the bar. Get rid of this. Hey, somehow, some way, my Lobi Blood Elf has matching colors on most of her gear. A web page here and see. My favorite guy to listen to is Steve Turley. And so I'll show you what he put up this past week, just some of to get an idea of what all's been happening this week. Kid Rock's All-American Show just broke the NFL Super Bowl. That's a clickbait title, of course. He does that. It's part of the business. But the thing with Turley is that you almost never pay attention to the titles. He is going to take a current event And he's going to platform off of that to get into the philosophical underpinnings of why people are making those choices, what their what the underlying philosophies that have been built up over the years are, how that's driving their philosophy, their takes. The one before that, Carney panics. So again, sensational, right? I'm sure Carney is not panicking. Carney panics as new poll confirms Alberta will successfully, I don't know if that's secede or, yes, separate with Trump's help. So, let's see if we can get through this. So we're seeing anti-globalist movements happen throughout the world. What this can boil down to, here, I'll give you this. You go check this out for yourself. It's easily searchable on the internet. You don't have to take my word for it. I'm just pointing you in the direction, right? But in the early 90s, when George H.W. Bush was in office, there were two competing academic theories that came out. One was by, I think, I might get these backwards. I think it was a Yale professor, or PhD at least, named Francis Fukuyama. And he wrote a theory called The End of History. Now, his theory, in essence, boiled down to this. We have reached a point in humanity's timeline that all of the possible combinations, at least at the fundamental level, of government types have been tried, and liberal democracy has won. So that what we can do is we can judge how civilized or how barbaric a society is, a given nation and their society, based on how much they embrace or reject liberal democracy. Now, that is a distinctly and thoroughly globalist, one-size-fits-all take. Now, we didn't have those terms back then, but Bush was talking about the New World Order. He was talking about the new liberal world order, right? And how this sort of American-led liberal democracy was going to go international. And we were getting closer to becoming a one-world society. Notice how we have phrases like, I'm a citizen of the world. Well, you also have phrases of, I'm a sovereign individual. So these are competing concepts, right? But back in the early 90s, this stuff was not being founded, because you can't have an entire theory come out without having other previous foundations. But if you look at communism and its quote of, or its rallying cry of workers of the world unite, you can see that's a globalist view. It's part of the age of modernity. The age of modernity is what took this one-size-fits-all take on things. For example, the age of modernity really prioritized science as being able to have a monopoly on truth. And if you couldn't measure it physically, then it wasn't real and stuff like that. Well, that, philosophers can kind of pick that apart and show you how that's just false.
How you doing, man?
But there for quite a long time, That's what kind of carried the day. Well, now we're in a postmodern world. Now, postmodernism comes with its own problems. The rejection of objective truth being the biggest one. Well, holy smokes, man, you sure don't want the guy that engineered and built your plane that you're flying on to have been a postmodernist and decided that the gauges are going to measure today that the further down you go, the more that you're gaining altitude, you know, because there's no objective truth. And it's however you feel. Everything's subjective. Right, so postmodernism has its own problems, but one of the things that it does is it rejects the concept of a universal truth, which is what all things modern from the age of modernity kind of revolve around. Okay, so Francis Fukuyama, the end of history, liberal democracy won. Everybody else, no matter what your culture is, or where your borders are, or how things work for you, you can be judged on how civilized or how barbaric you are based on how much you embrace or reject liberal democracy values. The competing theory, I always forget this guy's name, Sam Huntington. He wrote the Clash of Civilizations theory. Oh, I don't know if I want to take that or not. Alright, talk to Belai. So, we're not ready for this yet. So I'm going to go ahead and skip these. Talk to Dorn. 2,000 meters away. Yards or whatever. Got another guy that we can turn a quest into. I'm not going to grab that just yet. We will save that for when the guide tells me to. Alright, so Clash of Civilizations. The best way that I've heard this described was by Steve Turley. He gave this analogy. Imagine you're in high school. Well, there's actually two analogies. We'll start with the faster one. You are in the front yard as a kid playing with your little brother. And the two of you end up in an argument and you start fighting with each other. Right, so you are fighting with your brother in the front yard. Then your cousins show up and they start making fun of you or arguing with you or something like that. Well, now, because they're your cousins, your brother and you unite and you're fighting your cousins. They're united against you and you're united against them. Then the neighbor kids across the street start taking pot shots at you. So now your cousins and you guys unite against them. Now I'll give you another analogy. All right, keep that in mind. Here's the other analogy. You're in high school. You're in the cafeteria. You're a nerd. You sit at the nerd table. If you try to go sit at the jock table, you're going to get your ass kicked, right? If you go and try and sit with the drama kids, they're going to mock you and complain and whine and cry and raise a big stink and do what drama kids do until you leave, right? Everybody has their table. You have the nerds, you have the jocks, you have the drama kids, and I think there was another one there. But homecoming is coming up, and there's going to be a parade. So now you have to make a float for that parade. And because you're all at the same school and you're competing against your rival school, for this one time only, you all end up, oh my gosh, wow. Can I get away from this guy? Yeah, he's level 38, man. You all unite. There we go. All right. To work on this float together. And the jocks and cheerleaders put together like a script, a cheer script, where they're going to be on the platform and everybody's going to be cheering for them and stuff like that. The geeks put together the lighting. Maybe there's like a nerd group that's really good at math and stuff, and they actually engineer the float itself. The drama group helps train the jocks and cheerleaders. You can kind of think of them as actors and actresses to be able to pull off their script. Maybe helps write the script. Everybody unites together and pitches in for this one-time event, right? But then the parade happens, and it's over. Homecoming is past. And if you walk into that cafeteria as a geek and try to sit down at the jock table, the same thing's going to happen that happened a few weeks ago. You're going to get your ass kicked. All right? This ain't your table. Go somewhere else. Go sit with your people. Right? And vice versa. If you're a jock and you try to sit down with the geeks, they're going to be highly skeptical. But get out of here, jock, you frickin' meathead. What do you know? You're in year 2 of the best 4 years of your life. You know, we're over here trying to figure out how we're going to build a future together. You ain't got no foresight or vision. Go sit with your people. You're not welcome here. So, the moral of the story here is that Francis Fukuyama's belief was that we had found the single best form of government for all peoples everywhere. And Sam Huntington's Clash of Civilizations said, no, what you are seeing, it's like, what's that word? Causation does not always equal correlation or something, or maybe it's the other way around. Correlation doesn't always equal causation. Sam Huntington, oh no, man. We'll make it as far as we can. We might have to do what I call death leaping from one place to the next. Sam Huntington was saying you're reaching the wrong conclusion because you've been watching a snapshot point in human history that's kind of unique, where we had this Cold War. And because of the nature of that Cold War, people were really kind of forced to pick a side, the USSR or America and its allies. The USSR, I guess you could say its allies too, because China would be a part of that, even back then. And so what that caused is it caused a temporary moment where a multi-ethnic and I guess maybe ethos populated world, a multipolar, I guess that's how you would put it, a multipolar world where everybody is kind of, they have their area, right? The Middle East operates radically different than North America, you know, etc., things like that. Everybody temporarily actually picked a side, and you had a more globalist perspective with ties that bind than what is normal for the rest of human history. But the moment that this changes, and of course by this time in the early 90s, what had just happened in, I believe, 1988, the fall of the Berlin Wall. Communism was imploding. The Soviet Union was falling apart. So the Cold War was effectively over. Reagan and America won it. Going the wrong way. That was stupid. Couldn't quite make it. And that what we would start to see return now that the Cold War was over is that these regional areas, I want to put it that way for a reason. I'll explain it here in a minute. These regional areas, according to Sam Huntington, were going to start to return to their nation roots, customs, cultures, things of that nature. And one of the reasons that is significant is that in the Middle East in particular, post-World War II, was it World War II? Well, it was that also, but World War I too. The United Nations, the Western democracies that won those wars kind of went into the Middle East because the Ottoman Empire broke up, right? This would be post-World War I. The Ottoman Empire that had been around for centuries finally died. Well, the Ottoman Empire, there's a reason it's called an empire. It encompasses a ton of territory. Multiple nations wrapped up in the Ottoman Empire. And so when that fell, the Brits and America, and I'm sure other countries like France and Germany, went in and, without knowledge of how these various tribes and ethnicities kind of separated from each other, just sort of arbitrarily drew new maps and allotted groups of people a nation, which is how, in a place like Iraq, you end up with, I can't think of their name, guys. It's not the Houthis. I can't think of their name. But there's a small tribe in Iraq that are not Iraqi. They're actually like, they have like pale skin and stuff. And they are a extreme minority in the nation of Iraq, and they have faced ethnic cleansing for eons now because they were lumped in with Iraq when they actually are their own thing. We did that to them, is my understanding. So Sam Huntington was saying, the more that we go forward, the more that you're going to see people tribe up. Just like the cafeteria example with the nerds and the jocks in the drama club. And people are going to begin to separate into their cliques. Well, the Bush administration took Fukuyama's approach and said, we think that's the way things are going. The end of history thesis. And we ran with that. Anytime you hear people talk about the American empire these days, this is what they're referencing. They may not know it, but we took that theory, that philosophy, and we started engaging in globalism, which is the whole driving concept behind this New World Order idea, right? And even recently, like I think maybe last year, Francis Fukuyama himself came out and said, holy smokes, I was wrong. I mean, it's just clear as day that it did not turn out the way that I thought it would. We have the opposite. I don't really remember why I brought that up, but this is a big reason why. Oh yeah, we were talking about Canada. You see a lot of secessionist movements happening right now. The UK wanted out of the EU. Here in the States, we have had more than one instance of towns wanting to split off from their metropolitan cities. We have cessationist movements in Texas. We have cessationist movements in Oregon right now, where a large part... that didn't work. Can't seem to... Man, I am so off the beaten path here. 492 yards. Where the frick do you people want me to go? You rat bastards. Turn in test of endurance. Where the F is Dorn? I am so close to dropping an F-bomb right now. Tabitha. It says turn in. Oh, I'm not even in the right fargan place. That's pretty gay. Return me to life. Accept. And accept that. We'll take the res sickness. Oh, my chick is naked. All her gear broke. Food and drink. I don't see anywhere that I can repair. I do see a flight path. Where am I? Mud Sprocket. So that Sam Huntington idea about people tribing up and stuff, look at South Africa. The indigenous black people took that place back, right? I also use South Africa as a way to prove that the Marxist concept of racism is just complete, total bullshit that only a stupid person would believe. Man, you gotta be about retarded to believe in that definition. The whole idea that you need to have hate in your heart plus power, political power, in order to be racist. You have no understanding of human beings, you moron. None. Dumbest people on the planet, man. And they all think they're galaxy brains. So that Sam Huntington Clash of Civilizations theory is what I think explains things that are happening like in Canada right now, where Alberta... Now, I don't know everything here. I know a little bit, but have some grace if I get some of this wrong. I'm obviously a foreigner. But my understanding is that Alberta is just sick and damn tired of paying through their taxes for Ontario. They're sick of it. They're done. They're fed up. I guess Ontario is real liberal, and so they have a lot of social programs and stuff. And Alberta's work and effort, they feel like they're slaves. And they're getting bilked. And all the money that they make is going to pay for all the money that Ontario does not make, and instead spends. And boy, they are pissed about it. And so they're talking about splitting off from Canada. Well, another big reason for that is that they don't share values. Alberta is relatively speaking, or relevantly speaking, relative to Ontario, Alberta is very conservative. So their values don't align. They don't feel like the Canadian government represents them because Canada overall is liberal. And then on top of that, they feel like they're getting robbed. What do I have in the mail? Just absolutely robbed blind, right? To pay for stuff that they don't agree with over in Ontario. Stuff that they think is absolutely idiotic. Learn to ride in Eversong Woods. Gotcha. And this cessationist idea is happening in multiple places. And I think it has to do with this idea that Sam Huntington brought up. So, the video before that for Turley, it's about Georgia. Fulton County's election cover-up is unraveling. That is a big deal right there. Man, I'm telling you what, the left was trained into calling everything that they don't have information on or don't know about, if they're ignorant about it, or if they disagree with it, then it's a conspiracy theory. Meanwhile, they engage in their own conspiracy theories, like Trump's a pedo. Trump's the only elite that offered to help put Jeffrey Epstein away. You knuckleheads. You don't know anything about anything. And, boy, I can't stand disingenuous people, and that is the left to a T. That's a defining characteristic of being a leftist, is being disingenuous. These people don't give a rip about Epstein or his victims. All they care about is get Trump, and that's it. The moment that this gets kind of put to bed, and it's... that did almost... Oh, because I got red sickness. God, man, I'm just dying left and right. Ah, boy. Alright, well, sometimes it do be like that. Oh, man, I can't believe I lived. So yeah, Tulsi Gabbard, a liberal, mind you. Tulsi Gabbard, a lifelong Democrat, liberal values, ran for the candidacy to be president as a Democrat, is down there in charge of the team that gained a judge's warrant to seize farging everything. And I think that judge is a liberal judge too. I don't remember for sure. You'd have to fact check me on that. But, I already know extensively about a lot of this stuff. I have forgotten more than you probably know. If you're a lefty listening to this, I doubt that there are any lefties listening to this. They probably checked out as soon as I started mocking them whenever we were in Thunder Bluff. But, all of this stuff is already known, has been known for a while, to those of us that paid attention. But now it's going mainstream, and this is an official court case that is going to uncover just how filthy dirty Georgia was in the 2020 election. A state that decided the presidency, along with Arizona, which also was filthy dirty, by only 12,000 votes. And you're going to find out there's a hell of a lot more stolen votes. Like, outright, I think they're going to be able to prove stolen, fraudulent, forged votes. And then there's even more of that if you expand that to fishy votes that don't pass the requirements to count as a vote and must be discarded, that were not discarded. So I think you're very likely to find more than 12,000 conclusively proven fraudulent, people are going to jail votes. And then on top of that, you're going to add a whole bunch more, an order of magnitude more, when it comes to votes that should have been thrown out because of no signature verification or things of that nature, right? So that's actually a pretty big deal there. Can you imagine what might happen? We might be entering an unprecedented situation in this country. If you are able to prove that the 2020 election was stolen. I keep doing this, guys. I got 2 minutes left. Of res sickness. I need to survive until that's done. But if we prove conclusively that the 2020 election was stolen. The next question that comes up, in my opinion, is, doesn't that invalidate everything that was done and passed during that presidency? Every executive order, every congressional law, the whole enchilada. Doesn't that have to be struck down? Every Supreme Court appointee, every judge put in place, if it was a stolen election, doesn't it invalidate all of those things? And you have to go through with a fine-tooth comb and boot people out of the positions they've been put in and undo laws that were passed because they were passed fraudulently? That's something this country hasn't faced before. And we'll probably have to decide that in the Supreme Court, but Joe Schmo sitting here can't fathom how it could be possibly true that you would keep it. So that's why I want to watch this and see how it develops. This is a can of worms. But we'll see what happens there. Before that, the video before that says 3,000 arrested. Minneapolis surrenders as ICE arrests thousands in fentanyl. I think these were storage camps. Yeah, fentanyl hub. This is what your dumbass liberals were out there protecting. Of course, the vast majority of them don't know that. They think they're in it for the cause. They're fighting racisms. Right, they're fighting against a repeat of Nazi Germany concentration camps. That's the way that it's sold to them, and that's what they believe. That's what they buy into, hook, line, and sinker. And so I'm not here to demonize those people. I will mock them for being stupid and naive, but I'm not here to demonize them. The people running this stuff are the ones I will demonize. And that's what we had with Minneapolis. It became a fraud center of the entire world. You had all kinds of people moving into Minnesota to grift U.S. taxpayer dollars. Billions. No, I was about to say millions. It's billions of dollars. And then you had the cartels. The cartels set up shop in Minnesota, and they turned it into think about like Walmart with their logistics hubs or Amazon, where they have whole warehouses. That's what these cartels were using Minnesota for, to store fentanyl. And that's what ICE was in there to break up, to go arrest a whole bunch of drug dealers and murderers and gang members from South America, because the cartels had sent entire battalions of people to set up shop and headquarter national operations out of this state. Man, from the bottom of my heart, F you people. You dumbasses. Protecting the likes of these people. Ugh, it's just gross. So... Man, I laugh, but it's not really a laughing matter. It's just that's my gallows humor from the military. What else are you gonna do but laugh? This is black comedy, man. You know, like dark, I'm not making a skin color reference. I mean dark humor, dark comedy. Dealing with real insidious stuff. Oh, you got a video here about Billie Eilish. Did I say her name right? I don't know. That chick is ugly as hell, man. I can't take that back. I regret saying that. I don't want to make fun of people for being ugly. But she is like kind of like freakish looking at the same time. Like some of it she does to herself. And I guess if that's your thing, that's your thing. But that chick straight up looked like a female version of Frankenstein to me. I guess the reason I'm bringing this up is because, from what I understand, some people find her to be very sexy. I'm like, why? I've for all my life, I've understood that different people have different likes and dislikes and preferences. Okay, I get that. But some things are objectively true, and that chick is objectively ugly. But anyway, so I'm just confused by that. But anyway, her whole land back speech, man, she got rung up for that. the frickin' real life Indian tribe in Los Angeles brought up the fact that her mansion sits right on their land, and they've never heard word one about her wanting to give that back, like contacting them to give it back. Like how based is that Indian chief? That's awesome. So, not that she cares or anything. I mean, she's a millionaire multiple times over. But I just thought that was real funny. Alright. We're gonna go this way. I think that's about a good place to end it right there. What are we at as far as time? 2.5 hours, yeah. Ain't nobody watching this anyway. I put this up for my own entertainment. Alright, yeah, I should call it right here. Okay, guys, we're gonna say good night and goodbye. I guess it's actually good day for me right now. It's only 12 p.m. But again, I'm Aesop Grimm. Thank you for coming by the channel. I hope you like what you saw. More importantly, I hope all is well in your neck of the woods, and I'll see you in the next episode, where this story continues.
This place ain't no such thing as civilized.